Hi everyone, welcome back. So let's get started with the very basic data types available in a Python. So I have already created my Jupyter notebook having a name Python Crash Course. All those code I will be sharing with you, so don't worry about it. And in this video, we are going to talk about the basic data types available in a Python programming language. So let's get started with a very simple, like let's say number, or we have a float. So number you can divide it into two categories, like an integer and a float. So let's create some numbers. Let's say 23. So to execute this cell, I have already explained you how to execute this particular cell. So shift enter. Let's create some float number. So let's say 3.4. So this is a float. It has just returned output whatever we have given. Apart from that, there are other two important data types available in a Python, like true or false, like a Boolean data type. So it has just true, it has false. So this is a Boolean data type. And last one we can consider like a string data type. So let's say I want to create a string. So string is nothing but a set of character. It's not a unique set of character. The character may be repeated, but a sequence of character you can consider. So let's say our course name is, let's say, data analysis with pandas. And when you try to create a string, you have to create into double quotes only. So I just make it uppercase. Okay, so this is a string. If I just execute, it will just return me that particular string. Now you can use this single quotes also, you can double quotes also, but I have to use consistent. You have to be consistent. Either you can use double quotes or you can use the single quotes. So these are the basic four data type we are going to discuss in this video. Okay, let me just create some more few cells. So I'm going into escape mode and just pressing B. So it will keep creating a lot of more cells for me. Okay. Now we have created this numbers and all those things. Let's do some arithmetic on the top of number. So let's say 3 plus 56.6. So it has returned me 59. So this type of arithmetic also you can perform on the top of this numbers or a float values. Now let's assign this thing to some variable, because whatever we have created, all those variable, we just cannot use it because we are not taking into some sort of memory location. So let's create some variable. Let's say x is equal to, let's say, 34. Now I can just simply if I want to just print it, I can just simply use this x and it will return me 34. You can even use this print function also, and you can just supply x, it will also return same. But print has some added advantage that some formatting it will take care. So when you want to print some complex string which is having some sort of escape character and all those things, it will be taken care by this particular string. Apart from that, when you just try to print one particular variable, it will just print as it is, the way that is being stored in a memory. Okay, let's say if you want to know the data types of this x, so let's say you can use this type function and you can just supply this x. So it is returning int. That means this is x is a integer data type. Let's create some float value. So I'm just going to assign y is equal to, let's say, 23.6. And if I try to find what is the type of y. Now to learning this Python programming language, it is always best practice at every single moment of execution of code. You try to find what is the data type of that particular variable it returns, so that you can understand that what are the different methods, attributes you can apply on the top of it. So now y is equal to floats. Now instead of applying this way, this type of calculation, you can even apply x plus y also. So now we have x is equal to 34 and y is equal to 23.6. So if I just execute it, it will return me the addition of this x and y. Let me create some more cell. Okay, so we have seen integer and a float. It's not just the addition, you can do all those kind of complex arithmetic. Let's say x multiplied by, if you want to do 12, so 34 multiplied by 8 becomes 12. Even you can assign it to some other variable, let's say z, and you can just simply print this z. You can even do subtraction. So let's say x minus you want to do 2y. So already we have x and we have y available. It has just to plug those value inside this particular operator or operation, and it has returned us minus 13.2. Let's see about the boolean variable. So we have seen two boolean variable like a true and a false. So let's say true, and let's just assign it to some variable. Let's say x only. So we are overriding our above variable what we have created. And if I just try to print x now, it becomes true, rather than it was 23 might be we have already created, to 34 we have created. Okay, let's say if you want to know what is the type of this variable x now, so it's a bool variable. Earlier it was integer. You can even do arithmetic on the top of this bool variable also. So let's say we have a y is available, and let me just print y. Now y is 23.6. If I just try to do y plus x, because now our x is true variable, let's see what happens. So it has returned 1, and 1 has been added inside this 23.6, so it becomes 24.6. So whenever you try to assign x is equal to true, Python will treat it as a, in terms of numerical value, as a 1. You can even define, let's say, another variable z. I'll just make it false rather than true. So same way, if you just apply this type of this z, you can get a bool. You can now apply x plus z also. So we have x is equal to true and z is equal to 0 because it's a boolean false. So it has written 1. If you do, let's say, the multiplication, so it becomes 0. Okay, so we have seen about the numbers like integer or a float. Float is nothing but the decimal number or a real number. And another data type we have seen like a boolean, either a two state of value, true or a false. So if you are already aware about programming language, it is just refreshing all those basic data type related concept. Now let's see one very important another data type is nothing but a string. So we have already created one string. Let me just take that same string again, and let's just assign it to one particular variable, and then we'll see what are the operations we can perform on the top of it. Okay, let's say I'll just give name like a mystr. So my variable is now mystr, my string. Okay, so if I just want to print it, I can just simply type that particular variable name. So data analysis with pandas. If you want to grab what is the type of this mystr, so it will become str, because this str is one of the data type available in a Python. So now let's say string related operation we can apply on the top of this mystr. So mystr, let's say we want to capitalize this particular string. So we have a one capitalize method is available. Now how I will arrive at this particular stage. So once you type this dot and type some few character, so let me just delete it once more and just press tab. So all related suggestion which starting with the C, it will give us, and whatever method you want to apply you can just use it. So capitalize it, and it has written the same string because already our string was capitalized, I guess. Yeah, now let's say instead of capitalize we want to make it whole string the uppercase. Same way, dot and then tab, it will give us the list of all possible methods and attributes you can apply on the top of this mystr variable. We want to make uppercase, so I'm just typing upper, and let me just execute this method. So now every single character got uppercase. Same way you can do the lowercase also. So let me just quickly do it for you. So lower data analysis, so every single character got lowercase. We have some space separated words are available in our original string. So let's say if you want to split, so we can use this split. Don't supply anything as of now, and now by default this space separated. Let's just find the data type of this first. So it is list. So list we are going to see in a future video, but as of now you can understand this list as a kind of array. So it has splitted those words or a full length of string into different words, like a data is one, analysis is a second word, with is third one, and pandas is a fourth word. Okay, let's say if you want to find whether this particular string is a digit or not, so you can supply like a digit. So is it digit? So it will return either true or a false. So if it is a digit, it will return a true. But in our case, it is not a digit. Instead of that, if you just supply, let's say 98, and if you supply this particular method is digit on the top of it, so it returns true because 98 is a digit in our case. So this way, without creating the variable of string, you can just directly supply in this fashion also. Now let's do some slicing. So before that, let me just print this our original string. So now original string is data analysis with pandas. Let's first find what is the how many total number of characters are there inside. So we can use this length function, and we have total 25 character. Now let's say if I want to just extract one particular character, let's say this particular A, how I can do it? So I have to use this bracket notation. So I can just simply type my str, then there is a one bracket. Now inside the bracket I have to provide the index name. So indexing here will start from the 0. So 0 is pointing to this capital D, then 1, 2, 3, then space is 4, then it's starting from 5. So I'm just going to write the 5. Let's see what it will return. So it has returned A, this particular A. Now instead of just A, I want to find this full analysis. So I can just simply use 5, 2. So from 5 to how many character you want to take. So 5, then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12. But I do not have to write it 12 because in that case 12 won't be included, because upper bound is always excluded, so I have to keep like a 13. Okay, so now what will happen is that from fifth character, I won't say fifth character because indexing is starting from 0, so it's basically sixth character. So sixth, 7th character. So from this indexing, which is pointing with name with a number like a 5th to 12, it will return it. And our starting index and ending index has been separated with a colon here. So at a first you can just give like a start index, and after colon you can give like a end index. Now let's say you want to start with some character. Let's say just from analysis you want to grab every single thing. So you can just give like a 5 colon, do not give anything. And then it will just fetch all those characters till end of the string. Or you want to grab, let's say, from start of the string to just data only. So you can just simply give like starting with 0. So if you don't want to supply, you can just escape it from 0 to, let's say, till A. So 0, 1, 2, and 3. So I have to provide a 4. So it has returned me 4. So if you don't supply any index at a starting position, by default it will assume that it's a 0 only. So this is about the positive indexing. Let's say about the negative indexing. Let me just print the full string again. Now from here it started 0, 1, 2, 3, but from the other way side also it's starting like -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6. So let's say if I give like my str -6, so it returns me P, and all those slicing notation also will work. So this colon separated start index and end index is a slicing notation. Okay, so we have seen the enough functionality of this basic data types available in a Python. So let me just summarize. So we have seen integer, boolean, float, and a string, and what are the operations you can perform on the top of this string variable. Okay, so that is all about the basic data type available in a Python. Now in the next video we'll go into some more constructs available in a Python programming language.